Marty, your system of talents, abilities, and gifts, or tags, sounds absolutely exciting and a very positive process for all teachers, kindergarten through 12th grade, to implement in a very simple, actually, manner. And what we're going to do now is we're actually going to just hone into beginning level English learners. These learners are what Krashen and Terrell termed pre-production level of proficiency, or Weider defines these students as being at the entering stage of language proficiency. In other words, these learners absolutely need to have visuals, graphics. They're able to typically produce yes, no, or respond to yes, no type questions. They have small chunks of language that they're able to produce at this time, and therefore interactive supports, visuals are so important for this beginning level of English learner. That being said, would you provide us with your approach in eliminating bullying and building confidence for English learners using your tag system?
I'll be happy to. I actually came up with an idea, which was that, and I talked to the children about, as I take them on, bring them onto the relationship, and I say we're going to go on an adventure, and I say we're going to be discovering treasure, and the treasure is more valuable than gold or diamonds or silver. What could that be? And they give me their answers. And I say, but the treasure is you. The treasure is your talents, your abilities, and gifts. And so I have my treasure box that I bring, which is perfect for the early learners. And so let's say I pull out of my treasure box and I say, who here rides bicycles? And then we talk about, well, what does it take to ride a bicycle? You got to pedal. So if a child has limited language, you can make hand gestures so the child will know.
Yes.
You have to pedal, so you need balance, right? You have to be able to balance. You have to look around, right? You have to look around. You need that ability. You need the ability to be coordinated, and then we talk about that of balance. Be flexible. You have to be adaptable, right? And so we talk about those different words. And then the gift that the child gives, well, what would the gift be of a bicycle, someone who rides a bicycle? Well, it could be the tricks that they do, would be the gift that they give, or the companionship of riding with a friend, right? Or teaching someone how to ride a bike could be the gift that they give as a bicycle rider. So then we go in the treasure box again, and we might say, does anyone here like to sing? Well, what does it take to be a singer? Well, it's creative, inventive, imaginative, which is also for the bicycle. Right. Creative, inventive, imaginative. You want to repeat that over and over again, because every skill in learning, every subject in learning, they need to use their creativity, their inventiveness, their imagination to be able to solve problems. They've got to know math. Again, with music, you've got math, you've got steps between notes. So they've got rhythm, they've got as I said, absolutely.
So that would tie in so well with any social studies, a math concept, language arts, a story as well, right?
Absolutely.
And the whole goal of this is to increase their own personal awareness of being creative and imaginative.
Right. And with a list where you can list the children's talents, abilities, and gifts. And now they can keep a copy at their desk. You can have a copy in their file. You can put the words up on the board, and they can use it as a writing assignment.
It's practical, it's realistic, and it also, from what I see, is just building personal self-confidence.
Yes, and again.
All right, what else do you have in there?
All right, let's see. All right,
yes.
Is anyone here a scientist? And so they love the rat, just to make it fun. So they love the rat, and so they come up, and then what does it take to be a scientist? So now many children will say bright. They know that that takes a special skill, although each one of these certainly needs bright as well, but that
Right.
often will trigger them saying, oh, bright, and then they think of the math and the creative, inventive, imaginative, mathematics, someone who likes to put puzzles together. That's that's a talent, would be the puzzles, but the spatial relationships would be an ability. And then the gift that the scientist gives would be solving problems, coming up with solutions, and that would be the gift of the scientist.
So your treasure box is filled with oodles and oodles of items here. And each item, each piece here can tie into any academic subject.
Absolutely.
And the whole goal of doing this, I realize, is to build confidence, to avoid bullying. But it seems like it's a way to open up a lesson for teachers. So if they were doing a short story, or if they were doing the concept of weather for science, they could have a manipulative in their treasure box and pull that out and start a lesson or even end a lesson, right?
Absolutely.
And how do you tie that into eliminating bullying?
Well, because again, what this does is gives them the creative competence, as I call it, that they know who they are. It's the same thing for an English learner. They're very bright. Think of the things they've had to deal with in their, as learning two languages, coming perhaps from another country, or are they a second or third generation, and what is involved in being that and being the English interpreter at home as they develop.
English learners have so much to offer to each
Absolutely.
and every classroom, school, community.
Yes.
They are in and of themselves extremely talented, imaginative, creative.
Absolutely.
But it takes a teacher to bring out these characteristics, these traits of each individual student. So it seems like for the beginning level English learners, your system would be to provide these manipulatives, present them along with gestures to allow a variety of students, English learners and others, to come up to the front of the classroom or to stand up and hold and use these manipulatives as a way to build their self-confidence.
Yes.
And so it's really we're not really presenting strategies to eliminate bullying. What you're really doing is you're providing an overall goal for the classroom of building this confidence in each and every individual.